All right. All right. We are live. Cool. So let's get into it. Checking out my school group stream. I'm streaming to my school community and on Telegram and on YouTube. So getting everything connected up. Last week I built a memory agent to add into my personal assistant. So basically, this little mini live stream series, I'm going to be putting together my personal assistant. I have different elements of this personal assistant kind of built out and running sort of independently of itself. So I'm working on putting together an entire system for myself that then I could push out to the other implementations, the other instances of this assistant. So for this live stream, just going about my regular work day and recording it. Anyone can ask questions in the chat. If anything cool pops up that you like or have questions on, we can talk about it. Great. I think my screen is sharing. Last week, my total fail on the screen share using this streaming software. So let's dive into it. So we've got the memory agent. Let's take a look at that. This simple memory agent. Most of the build out has been in testing phases. So now I'm actually trying to get everything renamed and put together nicely for myself for this assistant. So this is the memory agent. This will store all of the memories in Supabase. I think I was cleaning out my Supabase, getting the brand new table set up. Do some testing on that. So let's see what we got there. Don't know how to say your name, Rui. Hello, welcome. Welcome in. So yeah, let's just connect up this to the new table. That should be good. Let's connect this one. That should be good. Now I'll have to work on some extensive filtering later on, but I'm not going to do that yet. So let's give this one a test. In the main agent here. All right, let's see in Telegram. So I'll send a voice note. Testing audio. All right, so let's reconfigure this. What we got going on? Window buffer memory. Always with the problems with window buffer memory. Okay, so changing up how to link things into your agent actually solves this common problem with the window buffer memory. If you have a text node or a set node coming in to your agent, this sort of fixes all the window buffer memory problems. Not all of them, but sometimes. So let's connect that up. I've got a text element coming in here. Let's see, we got AFP 203D. Glad to have you here in the YouTube stream. So I need to bring over the text elements. So this will be from or the audio element I just sent. So I'm going to delete this JSON. It's obviously broken. And I'll bring in the transcription into the same text field. Then let's go back, test the workflow again, and send a regular text. So what I've been doing that ends up working out better is putting both of those elements in the same field here. So I have the audio transcription text and the regular text coming in. What happens is one returns null and one returns a value. Either way, they're both going to be linked to the AI agent. So we're going to get that same text node inputting into the agent whatever value is coming through. So let's just give that another test. There we go. Solves the memory problem. Putting this text node, this text, I keep saying text, I named it text, putting this set node before the agent to input all of the elements coming in into the same text field. Cool. So last week I had a total failure on my screen share. My screen capture was frozen for half the video. So I'm going to periodically pause what I'm doing and check to make sure my screen share is still coming through. I think it is. You guys speak up sooner than last week if it's not coming through. Half of the entire stream was cut off. All right, so let's give this a real test with an actual memory to remember. Inside of my new database, brand new database. So we'll just say something like, remember my name is Kirk. Should get a response. And if not, then there's one more tinkering bit. There it is. Check Supabase. There it is. Okay, so we need to connect up that last field in this agent. Memory, and we need username. A senior English teacher. Build an AI agent to help my students with their questions answered through RAG. Yeah. That is a complex system. That sounds awesome. Also help my teachers follow the guidelines of the school and to check their work tasks whenever it's done. I would also love to input numbers in visitation criteria and do visitation reports based on the numbers I input. Thanks in advance. Yeah, so creating systems like that, that is highly involved. Basically breaking it down into smaller parts like what I'm doing in this build, not necessarily breaking your workflows into, smaller agents and using that type of methodology, but actually compartmentalizing every single thing you want to accomplish and then solving that one thing. For example, you have this huge project. Well, solve one problem and get that working and actually get people using it. If you're on a familiar level with your peers and your students, say, hey, I'm building this thing, let's try it out. Having people use it and ask questions is the easiest way to learn this stuff. And essentially teaching it is the easiest way to learn this stuff. So building out something like that is going to be huge, massive project. But, you know, check out all my previous videos, hop in my school community. I can definitely help you out. So this methodology I'm implementing here is, there's a couple, you know, AI and AI agent best practices theories, if you will. So what I'm implementing is having a master agent, a parent agent, talk to all of these children agents connected through the tools. So that's one sort of method that I'm employing here. So what is actually happening is this agent is entirely responsible for creating and storing and recalling memories. That's going to be its sole job, and so it's not going to get a lot of crosstalk with having to use different tools. The master agent is not going to get a lot of crosstalk with calling to different tools, all running to different tasks, right? We're just going to send those tasks off and get them back. So what I'm inputting here is the last value. I think I need to input a test, some dummy information here. Let's go, let's call this, what does it come through as? Let's see. Comes through as first name, last name is what I want to get. So first name underscore last name with an underscore. Been having a lot of people ask me about RAG systems, and you know, the popularity of n8n blowing up and these agents blowing up and all of this stuff kind of happening and allowing the accessibility to RAG systems. And what I mean by that is more people are trying to do RAG systems without the knowledge of how they actually work, which is, you know, I don't know all that stuff. That's a lot of data stuff that I don't know myself. RAG systems take a lot to implement, especially how you optimize and organize your data before it's input into the system, into the database, and more importantly, how you're querying, how you're retrieving that data. And so what's happening with these agents being blasted all over YouTube, I mean, there's a lot of amazing creators making really cool videos, but it's not necessarily going to be the best application. Using a RAG system in itself might not be the best use case for, you know, your use case might not be the best implementation of RAG, right? You can use a relational database like I'm doing here with Supabase. If you don't have tons and tons and tons of data, you have very simple, you know, step-by-step processes, or, you know, simple text documents or things like that. You can store them in a relational database and make retrieval way easier than trying to set up a vector store, you know, RAG system in that regard. So what I'm doing with Supabase is I'm setting up a very simple relational database that is basically going to be my RAG system, but it's not, you know, it's not necessarily RAG. It's not necessarily augmented generation. It's just going to call the actual data, right? So great. Got my username field in here, put my dummy data in here. So now I'm just going to drag in the first name and the last name. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way is because instead of using the actual Telegram username here, first of all, this is going to be a personal assistant, so I want it to be me. But sometimes, you know, if you're going to use a memory bot like this or any kind of bot that stores user information via Telegram, if people have their Telegram usernames on private, you're not going to get any of that information through. So just keeping their names might be better. All right, let's just test that with the pinned data. And right, we don't need that. Cool. Cool, let's give that a shot. Test it, send that same message. Remember, my name is Kirk. Oh. Remember, my name is Kirk. There we go. Cool, let's check that out in Supabase. We should get nothing. Let's see. I think I did the dummy data wrong. Oh. Okay. Remember, my name is Kirk. Well, all this kind of coding stuff, I'm not good at. This isn't very much coding, but it's still that's not going to work either, right? Sometimes if something doesn't work, I don't troubleshoot it. I just delete it, delete it and throw it back in there and try it again, because oops, that's not the one. Time management, right? Sometimes troubleshooting costs you more time than it's worth to just start over. I know that sounds very daunting, but sometimes starting over and iterating through the constructive and creative and building process actually yields better results in the long run. So that's just my personal tip. It's not business advice, but if you want to save time, sometimes it's better to start over. So, all right, that's working fine. Let's give her a memory. especially when there can be particular. Help me out with this. Did they change this query parameter? I don't know how this stuff comes through, but it usually would come through with this query. I know there's been a few changes to n8n recently. That was working just fine before. So let's see. Great. There's the query. I don't like how that execute from previous workflow trigger happens. Remember, my name is Kirk. But definitely good stuff coming through. So this is not coming through. And this did not call to, that's probably my message. I was recording. Yeah, okay. Let's try that again. Best of luck. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, for those of you coming on the stream, basically just going about my workday, fumbling through this stuff, stumbling around. You know, I learn best just by doing. I actually can learn by all of the learning methods, reading, watching somebody, you know, studying, practicing. But overall, I learn best by watching an expert fail at something. It gives me confidence to see somebody who's mastered something just struggle through stuff. And it's definitely a struggle building this stuff out sometimes, just especially on the stream, having to talk out loud and work through it and try and think of these, troubleshoot these things happening. So going about my work day, figuring this stuff out. So it's query. Oh, that's why this entire thing is not going to come through. I'm an idiot. That's why. Some of you probably saw that and said, you're dumb. So instead of doing this, since the whole reason I was doing this was just to store user information who is myself, this is going to be my personal bot. We don't need to do this at all. So what we can do, well, I can just not do that. Store this memory just like that. Can get rid of this field. And not even worry about it because this is going to be my personal system. So that was pointless to try and add that in anyway, especially the way I was trying to do that. So let's give it a shot, see if it works properly now with a new memory. Remember, I run a school community called Digital Automation Diagram. Great. There it is, and we got some ghost messages in the testing run. So memory bot is working. I can get rid of this. Field. And keep at it. So let's move on from the memory bot, which was working totally before. Jose, Kirk, I recently found your channel. Your content and explanations are awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Jose. I do my best. Do my best to make things more real, more relatable. I hope that comes out in my videos, just trying to get to the meat of what you need to do. You know, the way I do things probably isn't the best way, that's the truth, but I'm doing it the way that works and the way that has worked. This stuff is so new, you know, especially working in n8n, I found it's more like trying to code. I'm not a coder, but it's more like starting with the solution and working backwards than starting with the beginning and trying to accomplish the solution. You just gotta troubleshoot it as you go sometimes. But appreciate you being here. Super fun to connect with people. So what I've got the memory agent, I've got my scheduler, which this is something I want to build out more today. Let's dive into that. I don't even know how I set this up. So this was in ClickUp. So I'm going to change this completely. Again, instead of trying to change things, start over. That's going to save time. So scheduler, I think I want to connect to a Google Calendar. Now, there's a ton of creators, Nate, Kirk, specifically making a lot of Google tool related stuff, which is great. So I haven't really done any videos on it. But I'll tackle it now. Let's try it out. I haven't done any Google Calendar stuff at all, so let's figure this out. I think, don't even know if that's my credential. Let me sign in with my credentials, see if that's the right one. Yeah, all right. That is the right calendar. So what do we got going on? Let's try to create an event. Choose a calendar. We'll throw this in Sleepy Sea Monster calendar. Start date, end date. This is where we can add these expressions, right? Let's copy this handy expression. This is going to be one of the best things you could do in these agent tools is add the from AI expression. This is going to have the agent, you know, the AI of the agent actually figure out what goes into your fields for you. So we can give it what I want to go here. Let's give it a start date. Now, I haven't figured out if we should use start date, something like this. Probably, most likely. And this will be the time of the event based on user input, something like that as a description. And we'll just say start time of the event based on user input. Copy this expression. Let's add this for the end date. Let's say maybe we do end time instead of date. Again, really cool stuff coming from a bunch of creators on YouTube. n8n has been blowing up. We got Zubir, AI. I think he changed his YouTube name, AI GPT Workshop. Bunch of people popping up. That could almost be as overwhelming as trying to learn all this stuff, as trying to figure out who you want to learn from. So I always say, if you like my voice and you like the way I teach, then go with me. There's nothing special about anything anybody is doing other than the way they're teaching it. So if you like the way that I teach from my YouTube videos, the way that I live stream, gosh, I sound like a, I don't know, I take long pauses. I deliberate on my on my words. So I spend the most time editing my videos just cutting out pauses in my speech. I pause a lot. It takes a long time for me to say anything. So live stream, man. But watch my videos if you want to learn from me. If you're just coming onto the live stream, basically I'm just going about my work day, recording myself fumble through this stuff, building out stuff for myself, building out stuff for the school community and YouTube videos, just going through and putting things together live. Figured I'd record it, let you guys watch, ask questions, see what you can figure out from just watching me. Like I said, one of the best ways I learned is watching anything. The way I learn anything is watching some kind of expert fail at that thing, because then it just gives me so much confidence to keep going and know that something is hard. So I could probably figure this stuff out. I don't really know. So my problem is I don't use Google Calendars. I don't use Google's Calendar anyway, but I'm redoing my entire scheduling system, personally for myself. And so I want to start implementing Google Calendar as a basis for scheduling. So if I knew more about actually using Google Calendar, this would be a lot easier to set up. So we got to create event. Let's go ahead and name this tool create event. Now, I will be building this into an agent in itself, but I just want to figure out some Google stuff before maybe I'll throw that in an agent sooner than later. So let's see. Yeah, and just maybe I'll do that first instead of changing this prompt around. So let's make a new agent, calendar agent. Let's call this my Isla This will be execute. In fact, just so I don't fumble around on this node again, just bring it back in here the way I put it in the other one. That works. Let's bring in an agent, AI agent, connect from text. This will be from this node. Can pin it. Grab this. And yeah, that's fine. Grab the query like that. Right away, I'll go ahead and unpin this. So that's connected up. Let's add OpenAI, ChatGPT 4.0 Mini. Let's add some memory. Probably don't need memory, actually. And our tool nodes, grab this one. Copy it. Here we go. So how many people use n8n and make.com both? That's what I want to know. I think using both is going to be your most powerful way to do things. You can figure everything out in n8n, but there's still just isn't some functionality. We still don't have integrations. We still can't like do social media posts, specifically Instagram. But you can trigger a webhook that would trigger a make scenario, trigger a webhook in n8n that would trigger a make scenario to post. So I have workflows like that work with both. Sort of feels like a band-aid for now, but I think that's it, right? We can test this create new event. Let me check what I got going on in my Google Calendar. See if this even makes sense. So I'm redoing my entire internal system, the way that I actually schedule myself. I don't use Google Calendar at all, but I'm going to start. Where I don't even know how to get to it. That's hilarious. Google Calendar. Am I crazy? All right, there it is. Ooh, that's harsh. There it is. All right, so this is my Sleepy Sea Monster calendar. You can see how much I utilize it. Sleepy Sea Monster is my sort of business umbrella name, and now I'm doing business as Digital Automation Diagram or Kirk Artman for the automation stuff. So if you're ever confused why you see all the Sleepy Sea Monster stuff, that's my primary business umbrella. If you have Gmail, it's on the right. Yeah, so I was looking at the three little dots here, right? It wasn't in the three little dots. I actually had to get into my other Gmail. I had to get into my other Google account, log into Google Calendar, and then switch accounts to get Google Calendar in this account. I don't know. I know Google Calendar, whatever. It's not my favorite. So I was using ClickUp as a master, sort of management tool, and I'm moving on from ClickUp, trying to build my own systems. So that is the short of it. But I'm just lost with Google Calendar. I know that's so silly. So let's try this. Create an event. I think we're linked up to Sleepy Sea Monster already. This is my permissions all set up in the Google Cloud Console under that account, so that should be good. Let's do it. Call to this agent tool now. So let's bring that in. Call n8n workflow. This will be what? Calendar tool? I don't like that. Well, maybe calendar. Calendar tool. Call this tool when the user needs what? Calendar information? Calendar stuff. I'll get more technical. Let's just test this out. Wrap my head around Google Calendar stuff, but that might actually work. Call this tool when the user needs calendar stuff. And we'll call the myISLA calendar agent. That is fine. And we'll rename this. Get out of there, little guy. Calendar tool. And we'll add a line in the prompt. I've had some people in the school group mentioning how not actually explicitly mentioning every single tool that you're going to use here, not mentioning every tool is actually getting better results. The agent is, I don't know, going to the other tools in a more natural way instead of for these explicit reasons. It's intrinsically deciding which tools to use and why to use them. So again, it's just going to be how you structure this stuff. But I'm going to explicitly call these tools. Whoop, that's the wrong tool. So ClickUp tool and schedule tool no longer exist in this bot. So let me just get rid of both of these. Call the calendar. Calendar stuff. I'll get more technical. I'm pretty proud of my prompt engineering processes, but I just want to see what happens with this calendar tool node. When the user needs calendar stuff, let's give it a test. So what do we say? Schedule an event for 1 hour from now. That'll test the AI in the expression here. We could probably put that into this prompt. Out of system prompt to this agent, we can say, this might be redundancy, but that's fine for now. Current time is now. And we'll say what can I add? Keyboard not working. Come on. Oh well, I don't know what's happening here. Your role is to use what did I name it? Create event. So let's name this tool. I'm finding putting underscores for names of things, it's obviously done in programming and coding for obvious reasons, but same thing in naming stuff. If you're using natural language and semantics for these agents, we want to give them the context that this is a name or something to look at and not a command or some kind of flavored text. We want to make sure, whoops, didn't name it. I want to make sure they know this is a name. So just underscoring your tools might be good practice. I don't really know. So your role is, why is my keyboard? It's to use the create event tool. That's it. That's your role. Can you make an event for 1 hour from now to test my new workflow? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I just said meow instead of now. Okay, great. So an error is good because my master agent knows to start using that tool. So typically we get that error when either the workflow isn't saved or the information is pinned in the execution node. So most likely I haven't saved this workflow. Let's try it again. Create an event for 1 hour from now for me to test my new workflow. I don't know what to say. So it's going to our calendar tool. That's awesome. So far, so good. I check the calendar tool, check recent executions, check the only execution here. We went to the create event tool. We're on the right account. And let's see. So we got no title. So we need to bring that information across, is the actual text context. But an hour from now is 1:45, so that natural language is working. And back in the bot, we've got our notification here. So I'll probably want to tailor up this response nice and neat, and we can view the event here. That's nice. Let's open that, see. Yeah, see, this is my personal calendar, so that link doesn't work. So we'll tune that up. I don't necessarily need a link to my own calendar. Yeah, if you're trying to learn this stuff and you're not a coder and don't know coding at all, then I'm right there with you. Right there with you. Usually asking ChatGPT is like, is this even possible to do not in code? And ChatGPT is like, probably not, but let's figure it out together. Great, so this is working fine. We need to get the context coming across, so we need to add in this context here into the calendar tool. This query. Let's go ahead and map the output. I think that's all we need to do there. No, that's the wrong output. We want the text input. That should bring the context over. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. So let's see if we can add some fields. Could add attendees, add descriptions, probably description, right? I haven't done, those of you coming onto the stream, I haven't done any of this calendar stuff. I actually don't use Google Calendar, so I haven't been building any n8n stuff for calendars. And we've got a bunch of people on YouTube making really good videos for this stuff, so I just haven't made any. I will be making some. Ultimately, what it comes down to when you're learning all this stuff is finding the right teacher can be as daunting as actually learning this stuff. So my best advice is just go with your gut, go with whoever you can tolerate listening to for more than 5 minutes. If that's not me, I'm with you there too. I can't tolerate listening to myself speak. So editing my own videos is torture. But basically, go with who you like, right? We're all doing the same thing, but we're all doing it differently. So whoever you like learning from is who should be your teacher, and those are the videos you should watch. That's my main point with all this stuff too, is as a teacher and trying to make money teaching this stuff, I might not be the best person for you to learn it. And I'll be the first to say that, right? I'm the first to say this is hard stuff. Everyone on YouTube, we're all figuring this stuff out together. Everyone has no idea what's going on. Everyone's learning all this stuff. It's all coming out at the same time. We're all in it together. Let's just learn from each other. But that being said, I have mastered make.com, I've mastered Airtable, and I'm certainly mastering n8n. Where I fall short in n8n, you know, the workflows, the no code workflows are a breeze, but it's you know, connecting up all these expressions and things, which this kind of stuff is easy, but there's way more complex commands you need to do, and sometimes there's things that you can't do in n8n that you have to use code for, because n8n just doesn't have nodes for. So there's a handy code node for that kind of stuff. And usually you can get away with asking ChatGPT to write some code for you, but Razor Raymond, the title field is the summary field in the calendar tool. Look at you helping me out. The title field is the summary tool. What are we looking at right here? That's what we want to add for the event title. Is that right? So let's add from AI, we'll say, do we say event title or summary? Through trial and error. Yeah, that's what it takes. Like I'm saying, that's what it takes. A lot of trial and error. Everybody's learning all this stuff together. So sometimes just long conversations with ChatGPT, but helping each other out. That's what it's all about. So what do I say? Create event title based on user input, something like that. Now, where I'm finding my strength in not being a coder is actually my background is in art. So I'm actually finding really creative solutions to things, and that's why a lot of people are coming to me with questions and working on projects together. You know, this kind of stuff, like trying to set up a calendar node, I just don't have the patience for. But really intricate builds is really where my specialty lies, thinking of creative ways to approach problems. You know, one of my best friends is actually a coder, and he approaches me all the time with, what's your take on this problem? And, you know, just being creative about it. So create event title based on user input, something like that. Razor, let's give it a shot. By the way, if any of you are interested in, you have to switch the summary field to expression 2. Oh yeah, great. Boom. I'm talking too much, not paying attention. Thank you. Look at you, man. Appreciate that. So, by the way, if any of you are interested, I like to talk about, whoops, definitely want to save that. I like to talk about stuff I'm working on too that isn't just blathering, stumbling through, but I just built this automation that will scrape any YouTube videos. Gotta go. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you being here. Look forward to seeing you next time. So I built this automation. This will get YouTube videos, any username you want to drop into this Airtable base, or you don't have to use Airtable. You can get some kind of spreadsheet to drop in usernames. It'll scrape the most recent and highest performing videos from those users and give you metrics on that video. Basically, just a short way of searching for videos without ever actually having to search for videos. This will automatically trigger and populate your spreadsheet with videos for you to watch that are high performing. If you're a YouTube creator, you can gather all that information. If you just need to watch videos, you can see, the highest performing, most relevant videos from your favorite creators. So that kind of stuff I'm putting out faster and faster at building automations like this, but I'll have the full how-to video on this one coming out soon, how to build this automation. Promise I'm not always just stumbling through this stuff. But like I said, my favorite thing to do is stumble through this stuff because that means I'm learning. If I'm not stumbling, then I'm doing boring stuff. Cool, so we got that going. Let's give it a test. Enough talking, let's go. Action. Test it out, and we'll say create an event for 1 hour from now for me to test my automation workflows. Cool, let's pop into, there we go, test automation workflows. Let's open it up. Great. Cool, so that's neat. Can tailor up those prompts a little bit better, but for just doing calendar stuff, that's working out pretty good. All right, so we can make events now. What else do we need? Get events. We need to get events. So in the calendar tool, let's get events. Google Calendar. Same connection. Event. Let's get many events from my business calendar, and for now we can return all. Be able to limit later on, but this is by default anytime after now and before next week, or anytime this week essentially. So what can we put here? Just from AI? Nothing really special. From AI, and we'll say start time. Start time. This expression, this description prompt right here, based on user input, blank, based on user input, has been working fine. It's kind of goes without saying that's what this should be, is based on the user input, but adding that description, the expression, the agent knows that we want to utilize the user input, not for it to make decisions without the user input. So that is what's going on there. But why is this red? Need a comma. It's that coding stuff right there, that comma. Always messed up. Comma will always mess you up. End time. Get many events, just like that. That should be it. Let's name this get events. Oh, not right there. Okay, we'll put a note in here. We'll just say your role is to use Google Calendar tools. That's about it. Here's the time. Your role is to use Google Calendar tools. Should be fine. Save it. And we'll test it, jump back over to Isla and say something like, get all my events for today. Okay, so we're going to the calendar tool. It's great. Getting all events. And let's check the execution. Most recent execution is get events. She replied, here are your events today. Untitled event and test automation workflows. Cool. So yeah, I can tune up how this is shown here, get this tailored on every, I'll probably do on every quarter hour events, not these random time frames. Tune that up so that things only get scheduled by every quarter, every 15-minute increments, right? Then I can rename this kind of stuff and just say, just give me the event, or just say, here's your latest or something like that, right? Lots of tuning up here. So that's what I'll be working on for a while, probably just learning how to use Google Calendar and what events actually are. So what is actually happening here? What is this? What does this even look like if I edit this event? Yeah, see, this is all nonsense to me. Whatever, Google Calendar. I know. By the way, I tried building a calendar bot for ClickUp, and you know, n8n doesn't have a ClickUp tool, so much harder to make my own tool in that regard. I was trying to actually build my own tool to plug in as a ClickUp tool, which I was finding success, but it was just not returning what I wanted, and it was taking up too much time for my workday as a sort of side project, and I don't have that kind of time. Not yet. That's the goal. Work so hard that you never have to work again. Or at least get to work on more fun stuff. This is fun stuff. I love doing this stuff, but my problem is I want to do everything. I've got so many ideas, so many projects, so many business ventures I want to do. So that's my problem, is sticking to one thing. I want to do everything. So I'm just kind of brainstorming. Speaking of everything, I'm kind of brainstorming what else this bot should do, could do, and should do. We've got the calendar tool working fine. I guess we can keep working on the calendar tool. Create events, get events. I might fine tune that up. That'll probably be lots of, excuse me, trial and error. So let's add another functionality here. We can go to the calendar. We can also, let's see. Got to check my notes. I don't really take notes. I'm just kind of speak aloud and have that transcribed. just take a look.
The query
Great. So
everything at Roger.
come on. I mean, I guess we can do an email tool, right? Sending emails. I use Gmail, but it's not my favorite way of communication. However, with my new systems, I've got to implement it in here. So we can add a Gmail agent. Again, just haven't worked with Gmail. Those of you coming into the stream, by the way, this is just me going about my regular workday, recording myself doing it, stumbling through stuff and figuring it out as I go. I'm building, much more complex systems elsewhere, but I just have not done any of the Google stuff. Use the Google tools in n8n. There's a lot of awesome creators. I keep name dropping Nate Herc because his Google stuff, that's really what he's getting out there the quickest, is how to use the Google tools. But I just haven't done any Google stuff, so I'm working through that in the live stream now. So this is going to be my email tool. If you want to check out the videos on my other automation workflows, you can obviously jump into my YouTube channel. I've got a school community teaching people how to build really complex automations. Got some special prices going on right now for my annual price. It's $100 for the year. It comes out to about $825 per month if you want to jump in there. Check it out. Definitely got some good stuff going on. And of course, all my automations are up there for free download. Download the workflow, Airtable templates, all that good stuff. See, I'm brainstorming some other stuff in here now, but let's just finish off the tool. Call this tool wants to do email stuff. Again, I'll get more technical, but it seems to be working just fine. If there's a scenario pop up where this description doesn't actually work, I'll tailor up the prompt, but I'm actually shocked that email stuff and calendar stuff is working so naturally. So I'm going to add into this prompt here. Call the email tool when the user wants to do email stuff. Again, I will get more technical if the need arises, but if it doesn't, hey, that's it. That's all you need in your prompting. Do email stuff. So that should be it for the agent. Let's add in, oh, I haven't created the workflow. Let's jump over to new workflow. Got my memory bot, my calendar bot, and now this will be my Isla email tool. In fact, let me jump in here, keep my naming naming conventions cohesive. Yeah, so I asked earlier in the stream, how many people are actually using n8n and make.com and combining workflows? There's stuff that n8n can't do specifically it doesn't have quite the integrations that Make does. So I'm still using my make.com integrations for automating all my social media posting, stuff like that. But I'm building a lot of stuff in n8n that can trigger those automations, so they're working in tandem. Double checking my streaming software. Last week in the stream, the streaming software froze, and I had no idea until someone in the YouTube chat pointed it out, and I was like, man, half the stream was ruined, so I had to post a backup video. I don't. So I'm brainstorming different stuff, but I don't think that's relevant. So I'm just going to copy and paste this entire agent, paste it up in here. We should have everything linked up via the query. I can change this prompt to use the Gmail tools. Your role is to use the Gmail tools. That's it. Don't tell me nothing else. What happened? Why are you stuck? It's like stuck on being highlighted. You save it, refresh it. There we go. Those visual glitches happen a lot, and it confuses the heck out of me, especially in make.com. There's lots of little visual glitches. But I'm very visual, and if I pick up on the visual cues, so if that little screen haze visual cue is throwing me off. What am I doing? Google Drive, Gmail, Gmail tool. Gmail, so sending, and let's just get emails. I actually have no idea what's in my Sleepy Sea Monster Gmail inbox. I don't think I've used it for anything other than signing up for subscriptions for these tools. So we can do yeah, we can add these elements in here, but let's just give this a test, see if everything's coming through. Gmail account, not sure which one is set up here. Let's check my credential. Great, so let's just call this we're hitting that hour-and-a-half mark. Anyone who's watched my stream before, start getting to that close hour-and-a-half mark, and my brain just starts turning to mush. So we'll see what happens. Let's figure out what we need to add here. But for now, I'll just return all. I have no idea. No idea what's in there. Don't don't judge me. Let's see. Mush. See, I can't even name the agent. Gmail agent. Doesn't really matter there. This is just personal. Let's give it a shot. Email stuff. We can actually add in similar prompt we have in the calendar agent. Current time is now. Your role is to do calendar stuff. Yeah, we got that in there. See? So what do I ask? Get all my emails? Get my emails? Can you check my emails? It's probably going to break it. Okay, I can't directly check your emails, but I can help you compose or send. So let's see what's going on. Email tool. Oh, we didn't actually assign that workflow, which is probably good. I should probably limit my emails for testing. ILA email tool, and we want to, we don't have that input now, so we can grab it. Previous execution. We can grab this JSON. Copy that JSON from the previous execution, jump in here and change this to expression, paste that. Nope. No. We need what? Dot JSON. JSON dot. See, this is the part I'm not good at. I'll just rerun it and drag and drop it. Okay. Rerun it, drag and drop it. But first, let's limit how many emails to 2. And save this. Test this. Get my emails. So that's not going to work because we need to add that link back in there. Wasn't able to pull up your emails. Now we can grab the query. Cool. Let's try that. Get my emails. This is way more fun fumbling through this on the live stream than it is just by myself talking out loud like a crazy person. I actually talk to myself like this when I am alone building stuff. So let's see, security alert. Yep, sounds about right. And Flickr, I don't even know what Flickr is. That's, is that video app? Video app tool, something like that. Photo app tool. In any case, we got our emails coming back. We got 2 emails coming back. I'm glad I limited that response before that went through. So same thing, I can tweak it, tailor it, get this response to come back the way that I want. I'm probably not going to spend time tinkering with that now. Could also properly name this tool get messages, get emails. Now we can send an email. Call this send email. Set everything automatically. So this will be all from AI. Change to expression. We'll say to what? Recipient? like I mentioned, I haven't done any of this Google Tools stuff, so I'll just figure this out as I go. There's a lot of YouTubers already making videos on this stuff, so eventually I'll get videos up on it. You know, all of us making the same kind of content, all it comes down to is who do you like learning from most, right? Everybody's making the same content, everybody's talking about the same stuff. So trying to figure out who has the right answer is way more difficult than it needs to be, right? It's everyone's making the same thing, so who do you like learning from? That's the answer. Who can you tolerate listening to for more than 5 minutes? Who's keeping it real, right? So sometimes figuring out these tools and learning on YouTube is just a matter of picking somebody you like. That's all it takes. Sticking with it. We're all talking about the same stuff. Let's add a description and we'll say maybe not. Let's just say recipient, see what happens. Subject, this can be from AI as well. Let's just say subject. Using this from AI expression, if you haven't used this from AI expression already, this is going to be the best thing you can do using your tools with AI agents. It basically, the AI agent smartly interprets what you're getting at, what you're giving it, and then it'll input into these fields what it thinks you want it to input into these fields, right? We're utilizing the AI of the AI agent to input into these fields rather than trying to transfer over the exact information, which you can do. We're letting the AI populate these fields. So same thing for the subject. I don't know. Subject of the email based on user input is all I can think of for the description here. So we'll say subject based on So to structure these expressions, you can just copy and paste this example up here. And then it'll give you, inside of the expression, it'll give you this sort of tooltip saying it needs the key. So the thing you're trying to get, right? So in this case, the subject. So we need a key. We can name that key whatever we want, but most likely naming it subject is something we want to do. So what it doesn't really tell you is that it needs these quotes. If you copy and paste it from up here, it'll have those quotes in there. So we need the quotes. Then you can see we need a comma and the description. So I added the comma and the description here also in quotes. So I've got that description and I'm not adding in a type or a default value. If you want to get really specific and fine tune what this AI is assuming is the right answer, you can give it a type of data coming through and the default value. So, my default value could be read this important, right? That could be the subject for the default value for the subject. Read this now. So I could add a default value in there. Cool. So subject from AI, the message will be from AI. Now the AI, if we're using this from AI expression, if I'm texting or typing an input into Telegram and sending that through the AI is going to do its AI thing and paraphrase or summarize what you're saying and then write the message based on that. So if you want to send as an email your exact message, you'll have to set this up a little bit differently. But I'm saying I'm allowing the AI to just, send my message for me. I'll blather on to my phone and the AI can figure out what I actually want to say. So again, adding this simple description here based on the user input, blank based on the user input, has been giving me the best results. Just they're very basic descriptions, but I want to make sure the AI knows that this is based on my input. I don't want it to assume that it should add a subject from its own thinking, and I don't want it to add a message from its own thinking. I want it all to be based on the user input. So that's where this prompt is coming in, this description. Cool. Does anybody have any questions about this stuff? We're not getting it to highlight in gray. See, again, I'm a visual person. This isn't highlighting in gray, so I know something is wrong. And I can see we're missing the curly braces for some reason. There we go. Highlights in gray now. Everyone's free to post up in the chat here on the live stream. Though, watching me fumble through this stuff. So sender name, we could add that. Attachments, I definitely want to add this option. I always, wherever this option is available, I want to untoggle append n8n attribution. If you're using Telegram, apparently if you're using Gmail, this is my first time seeing it because it's my first time using the Gmail node, but toggle this off wherever you can. That's going to send the message saying this message was sent with n8n. So if you toggle that off, that this message was sent with n8n won't get sent. That looks fine for now. I'm not sure what else. Let's add a sender name. Copy that. I'll just say sender and sender based on user, I guess, for this one. Apparently my do stuff with stuff is enough of a prompt. Cool, so I'm not sure how it's going to actually check for a recipient, right? I need some kind of CRM in here. And those I do have. CMS, I've built a lot of CMS, custom CMS tools and custom CRMs. What should we implement here? It's probably going to be an Airtable base for a more personalized and automated CRM. We can definitely build a CRM in Supabase. I like having the hands-on functionality interacting with my contacts in Airtable though, so I'm going to probably set up an Airtable base as a CRM and just build a simple contact list for this to grab a recipient. Okay, cool, let's do that. You know what, actually we've hit that hour-and-a-half mark. My brain, like I've said before, we hit this mark and my brain turns to mush. Talking to myself for an hour-and-a-half straight and figuring this stuff out is a mine. Hey, can you use a custom CRM? I got questions right at the last second. I was about to call it and you guys are all jumping in. No, this is great. Let me jump back over here. So we got Mohammed, can you use a custom CRM? Yeah, so I'm going to be building a custom CRM. I've built many custom CRMs. So basically I'm going to build a very lean, very basic custom CRM for testing this out. And then later on, you know, down the road, I'll input or essentially transfer the inputs from my testing CRM to my big main CRM that I already have built out in Airtable. So definitely you can use a custom CRM. basically in Airtable, I'm probably just going to use the Airtable tool and, get or um, search for records based on user input. For example, send a message to Bob, right? And then it'll search records based on the name Bob and come back with all the Bobs, and then filter that, right, to get stuff that way. But I can probably do a better search method. I haven't really decided how I want to implement my CRM. And then we got DRMB Plumbing and Heating saying great live stream. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I learn all the ways you can learn. I learn by doing, I learn by reading, I learn by visuals, I learn by practice, I learn by trial and error, and I learn from a teacher. So that's actually my hardest method of learning, is learning with a teacher. I always try and stumble and figure stuff out. But the only way I really truly learn from a teacher is watching a master fail at somebody, at something, right? Watching somebody fail at something is the best way to learn. Watching an expert fail, that really does it for me. That gives me confidence, that shows me that this stuff is hard and that even the experts struggle with it. And the only difference between an expert and a beginner is that a beginner gets frustrated, right? That's the true differences. So watching me, myself, an expert, I'm working with n8n, and I've mastered make.com, I've mastered Airtable, and I'm mastering n8n, but I actually have not used any of the Gmail stuff. So fumbling through this, watching me stumble through this might help you out, might make you, if anything else, give you the confidence to say, holy crap, this stuff is hard. You know what? I'm gonna keep working on it because I'll learn it eventually, right? So appreciate the compliments. Appreciate you guys being here. I think I'm going to call it for today. That half an hour and a half mark, that really does it for me. So I'm going to go eat some food, drink some water. Appreciate you all. You can check the links in the description of this live stream. You can join the school community. Definitely growing really quickly. You're getting lots of people in there building awesome stuff. We're all working on this stuff together. I'm in the community, answering troubleshooting questions. Everyone can post up in the troubleshooting section in the school community. I'm answering questions there daily, working through stuff, recording short tutorials for everyone in that section in the school community. You can check out the rest of my YouTube videos. Obviously, there's going to be your first place to start if you're just coming into my content here. And as always, I will be posting up any of these workflows that I'm building. All of my automations, all of my n8n workflows that I built in all of my YouTube videos are going to be up in the school community. This tool that I'm actually building here this specific tool is actually part of my greater personal assistant that I'm building. This is just one portion of it. So there's lots more portions that I'm putting together and kind of combining and will combine later on. But this fully custom personal assistant agent will be all open and available for download as I put stuff together in the school community. So you can check out all that stuff there. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the group if you decide to join. I look forward to seeing you in my next videos, and I look forward to seeing you guys in next week's live stream. We're going to continue with this stuff. Hopefully I can get through the email, the Gmail and the Google Calendar stuff, because I just haven't used it before. I'll figure it out, and I appreciate your help as always. Thank you again. See you guys in the next one.